folk the starting REPL provided in the resources of this video that will take you to the starting code of the BMI calculator. So this is the 2.0 version of the BMI calculator which we had created. The first version was a version in which we would just print out the user's BMI to the user, like 25.5. Now this number doesn't really mean anything to the average user because they don't know what 25 means. They could think that they are overweight, obese or underweight. So in the 2.0 version we are going to be printing out the user's BMI to the user, and we will tell the user if they are underweight or they have a normal weight, they are slightly overweight, or they are obese, or they are clinically obese. So these are 5 things that we have to print out to the user. These 2 lines are the starter lines which are taking the user's height in meters and the user's weight in kilometers. You have to write your code below this line. Now in case you've forgotten, the formula to calculate the BMI of someone is just the weight divided by the height squared. So pause the video and try this coding challenge. I hope you have completed the exercise successfully. If not, or you just want to see how I did it, then let's walk through it together. First, we are going to be calculating the user's BMI and storing it in a variable. I will name the variable BMI, all lowercase, and in here we are going to type the formula, which is the weight in kilograms divided by the height in meters squared. Now let's just test our program and see if it works. So we are going to print the BMI and run it. I will provide a dummy height and a dummy weight, and it works successfully. Now one flaw is that we don't really want to print out to the user 10 decimal places. We just want to provide the user the 2 decimal places that are at the starting point, not all of the decimal places like this. So let's use the round function which is provided in Python by default, and we are going to round it to the last 2 decimal places. Now if we run it and test our code again we are going to provide a dummy height and a dummy weight, and as you can see now it is rounding it off to the last 2 decimal places. Now we know that our code is working fine, so let's move on. Now let's start checking for the cases or the conditions. The first condition is if the BMI is under 18.5, then we have to print to the user that they are underweight. So let's go and check for this. We are going to use an if statement. Inside this we are going to check if the BMI is less than 18.5. Then make sure that you have an indent over here. We will print out to the user using an F string your BMI is, and then the user's BMI in curly brackets using F strings, and then we will tell them that you are underweight. Now let's go and check for the second condition. The second condition says if the BMI is equal to or over 18.5 but below 25, then the user has a normal weight. So let's go and check for this. Scroll down. We are going to use an elif which will only occur if this if statement is false, meaning the user's BMI is not below 18.5, then this if statement will occur. So in here we are going to check if the BMI is less than 25, and this will work. Why? Because in here we are already checking if the BMI is less than or equal to 18.5, and if this returns false, meaning the BMI is not less than or equal to 18.5, then we have already checked for this case. We only need to check if the BMI is below 25, which we are doing right over here. Now let's print for the user using an F string. Your BMI is the user's BMI, and then you have a normal weight. Now let's check for the third condition. The third condition says if the BMI is equal to or over 25 but below 30, then we have to print them that they are slightly overweight. So again we are checking if the BMI is less than or equal to 25 already. So meaning In this case, we just have to check if the BMI is less than 30. Now the people who have a BMI between 25 and 30 will occur in this elif statement, and in here we will print to the user, your BMI is the user's BMI, and then you are slightly overweight. Now let's check for the fourth condition, which is equal to or over 30 but below 35, then they are obese. So let's go and code this as well. So we are going to check if the BMI is less than 35. Again, in here the people whose BMI are between 30 and 35 will go in this elif. We are going to print to the user, your BMI is the user's BMI, and then you are obese. Then finally, we have the last condition, which is if the BMI is equal to or over 35, then they are clinically obese. Now in here you could use an elif statement, but a smarter choice is to just use an else statement, because we are already checking for the other cases, meaning in the else statement, people whose BMI are greater than or equal to 35 will occur over here. So in here we can just print to the user, your BMI is the user's BMI, and then you are clinically obese. Now that we have written our code down, let's check it. So I will extend this and run our code. Now let's provide a height of 1.85 centimeters and a weight of 32 kgs. It is telling me that my BMI is 21.04 and you have a normal weight. Now let's check it for some other cases. Let's say my height is 1.65 but I am 85 kg. It tells me that my BMI is 31.22 and you are obese. So we can see that the program worked correctly. I hope you have completed this coding exercise on your own. If not, then make sure that you review the lessons of the elif statement and come back to this exercise and perform it again. In the next video, I have another coding exercise for you. So for all of that and more, I'll see you there.